YouTube, my name is Mesa Sean, and welcome back to another Anthem video. In this Anthem video, we're going to discuss the latest update 1.1.0. We've got a new Stronghold, so we've got some new content. We're going to talk about future new content, DLC, and also, well, to put it frankly, can Anthem be saved? If you enjoy this video, a like rating is very much appreciated, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Let's get into it, folks. Update 1.1.0 brought with it some amazing quality of life changes and a whole bunch of other fixes. But we have a new stronghold, and that's called the Sunken Cell, which you are seeing in the background. So right now, we have 4 strongholds. We've got the Temple of Scar, the Tyrant Mine, and the Heart of Rage, and now we've got one more. But let's be honest with ourselves, all of us just do the Tyrant Mine because pretty much that's the easiest one to farm over and over to get masterwork or legendary gear. I'm going to go on record saying that I think this is more fun, and I think this is going to be the one everyone's going to start farming right now for legendary and also masterwork gear once you start changing up the Grandmaster difficulties. Now, this stronghold, in my opinion, it's more fun because it's a little more action-packed. You've got some minor puzzles to solve, which are not very difficult, although I have to be frank, the first time I did it, I had no idea what I was doing. The other folks that I was playing with knew what to do in terms of the puzzles, so I just went along with it. But I'm going to say this is more fun because it's not too long and it's not too short. I feel like the Tyrant Mine sometimes is a little too long, and the Temple of Scar is fun, but the ending can be a little frustrating, and that's in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. They added 3 quality of life changes that I think were totally necessary. The first one is they've added the ability to select contracts from the start of the expedition screen rather than going to the individual contracts board in Fort Tarsus. Then they added the ability to launch a new mission right from the end of the expedition screen without having to return to Fort Tarsus or the launch bay. So pretty cool feature if you just want to get right back into farming another stronghold. Maybe you want to go into free play or just do another activity. You don't have to go back to Fort Tarsus anymore. The third quality of life change that they added, this is a big one for myself because it kind of was a deal breaker when playing this game. So now they've added the ability to access the forge during missions, strongholds, and free play. You can now change your gear without having to return to the fort or the launch bay. This was a big deal for me because nothing was more annoying than loading up the, let's say, stronghold, for instance. No, actually, you know what? Loading up free play. I would load up free play, and you know what? I want to try something new out, and now I'm like, ugh, I don't like this new ability or blast seal or whatever it is on my storm. Now I got to go back to Fort Tarsus, got to go to the forge. I have about 10 more loading screens I have to go through. No, I don't have to do that anymore. You literally could just open up the menu, go back to the forge, change whatever you want, and get right back into the game. Great quality of life update. We also have 3 new universal masterwork components. We've got an extended sniper magazine that's going to add specialized storage for enhanced sniper rifle ammunition, increases the damage by 30% of base damage, also increases the maximum magazine size of sniper rifles by a large amount. We don't have a percentage on one, just by a large amount. Then we have rapid hollow points, adds specialized ammo storage for machine pistols and autocannons, increased damage by 30%, increases weak point damage of machine pistols and autocannons. The third universal masterwork component we have is extended special arms magazine, adds specialized ammo storage for heavy pistols and grenade launchers, increased damage by 30%, increases maximum magazine size of heavy pistols and grenade launchers by a large amount. There also was a number of gameplay balance adjustments where they tweaked some of the masterwork weapons, some of the masterwork gear for the different javelins, and also there was a number of bug fixes. But I'm not going to go over them. I'm going to link the full patch notes in the description, so make sure you go check them out. Over on Reddit, we received an update on Anthem from the development team, and this is from Ben, the lead producer, as well as Chad, head of live services. And they're going to be talking about Act 1 and the 90-day calendar. After I go through this, we're going to talk about my thoughts on can Anthem be saved, and what exactly do I mean by quote-unquote saved? Well, they kick it off with the past 10 weeks. We have learned a lot since the game went live. We've heard a lot of the feedback from all of you, and we've been working diligently to improve as many things as we can in the short term. We have fixed a lot of bugs and made changes which we believe begin to point us in the right direction for the future. That being said, we know there is a long way to go before Anthem becomes the game we all want it to be. So where are we at today? Well, first off, they just talk about update 1.1.0, and that's what I just mentioned right now. Now, they did do a live stream yesterday, but they just really talked about the Stronghold, the Sunken Cell. They didn't really talk about anything else, but they do address in this post Act 1. Well, the Act 1 calendar, that is. Ben and Chad continue with, while we have delivered many of the Act 1 features on time, we are not going to hit all of our goals for the Act 1 calendar. We have been prioritizing things like bug fixes, stability, and game flow over the new features of Act 1. We've set aside time for this work, but the reality is there are more things to fix and improve than we planned for. While this is the best thing to do for the game, it means some items for the calendar will be delayed. So here's what's getting delayed, folks. First off, the mastery system, guilds, legendary missions, phase 2, weekly stronghold challenges, leaderboards, some free play events, and also the cataclysm. They continue with, we want to make sure everything we add to the game has a purpose and fits with our long-term goals. When we have the information to share on the above items, we will do so. Also with the cataclysm, they say the cataclysm is an important addition to the game and it's currently a big focus for the team. The cataclysm will bring new challenges and rewards and pushes the story of Anthem forward. As the work continues, we will share more with you in May. Next up is loot. We have heard your concerns around endgame loot. We agree that our loot and progression systems need to be improved and we are working towards this. When we have more information, we will share it. Next up is communication. A lesson we have learned is that we've been talking about things too early. There are so many factors that can cause us to pivot our plans, whether it's bugs or stability issues, player feedback, or complications with the feature that requires us to take more time to deliver it. Our goal is to tell you about new content and features once the work is closer to being done. At the same time, we want to provide more ways to get your feedback and for you to tell us what you think is fun or not fun. To facilitate this, we plan to introduce a player feedback environment, a PFE if you're not familiar with, an opportunity to get your feedback before we go live with major features in the short term for PC only. Like expected, they're getting lit up like a Christmas tree in the comments of this Reddit post, and one could argue rightfully so because, well, the Anthem community, just like most gaming communities, are passionate. I think a lot of us want this game to succeed because at its core, the game is fun, frankly. The game mechanics, the abilities, the different javelin suits, even the weapons are fun. Even though you're using your abilities most of the time, the weapons are pretty fun. Man, I love using this shotgun that I got, this Masterwork version that I'm trying to get a legendary version of, but that's a whole other topic. But the game itself is a lot of fun. It needs a lot of improvements. So can this game be saved? We can argue until the cows come home that, well, the game should have been pushed out another year or so, or they've been working on it for XYZ amount of years and it should have been ready at launch. Well, hindsight is 2020. The bottom line is the game is fun. It just, well, can it be saved? Can the player base come back? Now, I don't have numbers on how many people are actually playing. I just know when I logged in last night and was firing up Grandmaster 2, I had no problem finding players with doing strongholds. However, doing any of the legendary contracts or legendary missions, yeah, I was pretty much by myself. So here's my feedback and my suggestions. The way I look at it is there's two types of players. There's the players who bought the game and then tapped out after a little bit because of all the frustrations with the loot, not having enough content, and just not having enough things to do within the game. Then there's the other type of player who decided not to buy the game and were waiting to see what the players who bought the game, what they thought of it, and they said, oh, no, I'm not going near this game, or at least not until it's fixed. What I think they should do is really wait, just like they said in their post, but wait until they drop a huge content release. And I don't mean just like, okay, here's your Cataclysm, and if the Cataclysm is big, man, it better be big. It better bring with it a ton of new stuff. But I would hold off and drop a whole bunch of content at one time. And you know what? I think I'd even wait 6 months for that, you know? Give us 6 months, put a whole bunch of legendary contracts together, put a whole bunch of new things to do in free play, drop it all at one time. Because if you drop it slowly and kind of drip feed it to the players who might have left the game already, that's not going to be enough to get people really excited about the game. There has to be a huge content blast with just a zillion things to do at one time and make it feel like a true DLC drop. Let's say on that list, all right, there's some free play events, okay? Well, I don't think if they just drop in some free play events that are new, let's say they're new, they're fun, they've got some new rewards, okay, that's great and all, but as soon as everyone logs back in and plays them, masters them, gets the loot, well, they're going to log right back off. However, if they drop the new free play events along with another Stronghold, some more legendary missions, some more legendary contracts, and all of it and the Cataclysm, if they dropped all of it at one time as if it was a huge DLC, there was a trailer and everything for it, I think that would be a good step in the right direction in terms of bringing players back who probably have tapped out by now. Logging in last night, and actually at the time of recording this video is the night before the Stronghold dropped, it kind of felt like a new game. A lot less loading menus, and a lot of the weapons and abilities, well, they felt a little more powerful. And I don't know if that's from updates that I just missed because I haven't played the game in a long time. But what it did reaffirm for me is that at its core, yeah, the game is fun, guys. The game mechanics are fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and do you think this game can be saved, and what would be your proposed solution to it? So I was debating letting the full gameplay roll out of the Stronghold, but you know what, guys? I'm going to shut it off here. If you have Anthem and you've tapped out for a while, fire it up and jump into the new Stronghold and let me know in the comment section what you think of it. I think it's more, well, I think it's one of the more fun Strongholds. Not too long, not too short, but for the most part, it was more fun, or at least I felt it was more fun than the other Strongholds. That's it, guys. Leave me a good old hashtag made it to the end if you did make it to the end, and do me a favor, drop a like in this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at Mesa. Check out my stream, usually and always on YouTube, and that's it. I am out of here like Vladimir.